Hey, it's Dan. This is Communitary. This is the first episode. Glad I told you that. Schraub directed it. We struggled for a while about how to introduce each character. Our goal at the top of the season, whereas season 5's goal was to reboot the series, or actually kind of think of it as a pilot for a new show. Our goal this year was we kept saying, let's make episode 700 of a show that's been on for 20 years. Let's just make everything very modular and self-contained, and yet you do still have to tee everything up. So very quickly, just introduce the characters that we already know, of which there are 4 remaining. And then the whole rooftop frisbee thing. Where did that come from? Oh, the rooftop frisbee concept came from the fact that we moved our set from Paramount to underneath Parks and Rec set at CBS Radford. So after years of being underneath them in a strictly figurative sense, we literally started shooting underneath them, and there were pillars all over our set that never existed before. That were like, they had to be like load-bearing pillars to keep Parks and Rec from literally crushing us after figuratively crushing us for years. So we felt, I think, we felt like those pillars were going to be a bigger deal. That guy playing young Leonard as a crew guy, he's a camera assist. Anyways, he really looks like a young Leonard. I don't know if either of them will be insulted by me saying that.
In rain.
I think I could have probably done a better job blowing that cold open. I don't think your cold open should end with a guy saying what. There were some alternates with Garrett saying, "That's from Blade Runner." Like, it's just this season. What are you gonna do? I had no supervision, and I tried to stay on schedule, I swear.
Can't believe a roof collapsed.
Now, some of you early on, as I anticipated would happen, were talking about how the look of the show was darker, different. You do like it, you don't like it, etc. I anticipated all that and thought it was a very, very calculated. It was a. I have no words today. It was a fine price to pay. Your maybe confusion and adaptation for the fact that we changed DPs, director of photography, and started lighting the show differently, more naturally. By the time season 5 was over, we had in order to try to speed up production, slowly but surely, what we had evolved into was just washing the cast with floodlights that were permanently placed at the top of the set, which does not make actors look great. It makes them actually look uglier than they do in real life. And so we had determined going into season 6 that we want people to be pretty again, and we want the set to look nice again. And so we because we needed a new DP anyway, we scoured the earth. We got this amazing guy, Buzz Fleetshan, who did a lot of great work on Scrubs and other stuff, and we looked at his reel, and he does all this great work with natural seeming lighting. Like, he puts the lights lower, and somehow he's incredibly fast while doing it. And if there was any G.I. Joe, any hero that truly deserves the medal for all of this season, it's definitely Buzz. Because when I think about doing this season without Buzz, it just couldn't have happened. I think it would have fallen apart halfway through, because my unprofessionalism combined with anybody else other than Buzz would have been, I don't know if we could have made a TV show, whereas Buzz just kind of he was a machine down there. So I could be a slow dipshit writer and send pages down late, but Buzz, I knew I was sending it down to a Swiss clock.
Weird
And it should go without saying that everybody else, most of whom were coming back from previous seasons, all the department heads, they've always been very fast and amazing at their jobs. But Buzz was new, and I just wanted to really applaud him. He's sort of a de facto leader, a sergeant of arms down there, sergeant at arms. All right, back to this. Shut up, old man. Stop talking about your dumb crew and tell me about Paget Brewster, who was an old friend of mine. I mean, I knew her from way back. Maybe old friend overstates the acquaintance level, but like I've known Paget for a long time, and she's always been incredible. And I think it was McKenna who brought her up when we were talking about not replacing Shirley, but filling the vacuum left by Shirley. Needing somebody who was there to. I certainly don't want to say moral compass, because that's sort of what Shirley was, possibly. But there's no morality to Frankie. There's just a pragmatism. But just somebody there to kind of counterbalance the lunacy. And Frankie is a new kind of community character in that she actually comes from a successful world. And we had to ask ourselves, why would she come from, why would she be here if she was good at what she did? And we just made up in our minds, and, if it comes into canon, then it comes into canon, but if it never does, then it's the writer's secret, that she comes from a very messed up family full of a lot of really creative and really unbalanced people, and she was the hero of the family by being practical and stable and took care of them. And we imagine that there was a very high suicide rate in her family. I know this sounds hilarious. And that she's specifically in Colorado to take care of a mentally challenged sibling. And so here she is at Greendale taking this job. And that's how we justified it.
Then there's... Done?
So you can see those are the actual pillars. Those are holding up Parks and Rec's finale, which is shooting upstairs at this moment. Probably. Thank you. And yeah, again, it's like, if we had never bothered to justify the pillars with the Frisbee thing, I don't think anyone would have ever said, why is there a pillar there? I don't think you ever see it again. But you think strange thoughts before you're producing your show. Like in those 8 weeks when cameras haven't rolled yet and nothing's built yet, and you're just sitting in a room with writers talking about how to justify pillars, you're going to go overboard.
English, Doc. Simply put, Mr. President.
Schraub did an amazing job on this episode. This scene was the first scene that we ever shot with Paget, and I remember she's an incredible perfectionist. Very, very grateful to be working, and very, very wary of screwing it up, wanting to make sure that she's serving her production and doing the best job that she can do. And we didn't know what her character was really yet, in terms of like, how does she speak? What is her cadence? And I definitely probably really overworked her. I don't know what Paget's description of this process would be, and whether or not the moments on this set that we're watching right now, we spent many, many takes sort of adjusting and micro-adjusting the way that she speaks. I like to do that if you're creating a character, then the first scene that they're in, it's like that's your first and last chance to work with an actor, find something that's comfortable for them that also feels different from other people. And I don't know, like you just discovering a little baby T-Rex that's coming out of the egg at that moment, like imprinting on it, and just the themes that her personality hits include a roboticness. She is a robotic person and is therefore overlapping with Abed slightly in that capacity. She's also, though, she has like little pieces of Annie and Jeff. And discovering those along the way was a real treat. And also just discovering that, boy, I wonder if we even had to worry about that, or if we could have just lowered Paget in a crate, dropped the bottom out, dropped her on the set, walked away, I think she would have improved the show. She's really, really a treat. Like to it's a great to go through her takes, and because she fit right into with the rest of the cast in that regard.
What are you guys doing back here? Are you the...
I remember this scene because I remember again running down. This was written hours before they shot it, because we decided the scene was missing from the story. We didn't know what the story was. This is the first episode, and I have memories of being absolutely behind schedule in an unreasonable way right away, which is just, this season is legendary in that way. Like, I was behind schedule coming out of the gate. We wrote a version of the first episode and did a table read, and everything was on schedule. And there were a handful of notes from the studio and from Yahoo. Not that they were high maintenance at all. Their notes were a reflection of the fact that the script wasn't really there, and I hated it. Like, I hated the script, kind of. I just felt like it was a little goofball, and I think McKenna didn't like it either. So we just kind of scrapped it. So it's like, you stay on schedule all that time, and then you just throw an episode completely out the window at the table read and start over. And now, congratulations, you're operating a community mid-season pace, top of your first Yahoo season. I was just always, I can compartmentalize. I take the voice in the back of my head that's going, Yahoo is watching you, and they hate you, and this is how you're meeting them, and they're going to regret the day that they spent $1 on your show. And I take that voice and I just seal it up in a little box so I can get my job done.
Don't think of it as bad baking. Think of it as a crushing blow to a gender stereotype.
I think, as it turns out, I usually find out that they probably didn't hate me. They were probably fine with everything. They were always very nice. Everyone out there should do a show for Yahoo. They're amazing. I think in my case, they're too amazing, because I think I need supervision. I need somebody to beat the crap out of me, scare me with a belt.
A little bit more about the human side of service.
I can't eat this. Can I get my money back?
Is it sexist to talk about, just to remark, like, how
Don't patronize me, Dave.
It might
like,
not seem like this, but you're killing
cute I think the girls are, their little sub sandwich uniforms? I don't know. I like these accidental discoveries of, like, oh, these action figure versions of them are cooler than the astronaut versions.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, I guess we'll wait for the others before we start.
I don't think they're coming.
What?
The committee had a meeting last
While I'm in a sexism zone, I hope that's enough of a disclaimer. But I mean, I edited this episode, and the funny thing about Frankie's character is that
Yesterday at lunch, drama and
it's
conflict.
certainly not intentional. It's just something that happened because of the wardrobe that she was wearing throughout the episode, and then the wardrobe that she happens to be wearing at the end of the episode. But as a mythologist, it appears to me when I edited the episode, it seems like one of our hidden messages is that if you're a hero and you go through a proper journey, you gain your cleavage. Because in the last shot, Paget has a lower cut, like, top, and it's like, it seems like that's her Promethean flame that she takes down from Olympus for her struggles. she gets to have her cleavage. That was not our intention. I don't think cleavage should be a reward for work done. I think it should be part of life. This montage concept.
What do you mean?
Someone told me you were sweeping, straightening clocks. Why are you cleaning that sign? I gave you a list.
I don't know. Did it work? Did the story work?
Cutting from me, verifying Diane's
I don't know.
to me, emailing confirmation to Diane.
Right, but a montage is...
I know it's shot very well.
Apologizing for reality.
And we are where?
Reality?
And what do people do here?
I know I like these characters.
Diane?
I don't know if I did a good job. Schraub shot a much cooler looking version of this montage, emailing Diane montage, where the camera was behind Paget and pendulum, like kind of swinging back and not pendulum swinging, like just kind of like moving back and forth behind Paget, and then the cuts were on when Paget was filling the frame, so you're like moving back and forth behind Paget, and Abed's outfit is changing. But we felt it kind of stepped on the joke. Here's David Nair. An amazing discovery. Jewel Bestrop, our casting director, is
I'll have the special.
the one responsible for, anytime after season 5 that you're watching. Wait, did she come on season 3? Yes, of course she did. If you like any new characters that you met from season 3 forward, I think that's the Jewel Bestrop effect. When she has time to do her job, which I never give her, she's able to, if you can just say to her, we want to meet a new interesting person in this scene. We just want this person to be interesting. We don't want them, we're not defining their race or their age or their height or even their gender. Let's just bring in something interesting here, and she'll line up 10 people in a casting session, and each of them will be this amazing discovery that she's had in her filing cabinet, and been sending out. And she's casting directing. When you watch Jewel do it, you start to understand why it's a separate department, why it is a craft, why it's an art.
Oh, but it's still the worst.
Yeah.
The bar gets dirty. You're gonna need someone to clean it, probably after hours.
There's Nathan.
Can get pretty loud.
Or old sex bucket, we call him on set. It's a big bucket of sex. I'm making that up. Not a name that's gonna stick. Sounds kind of gross.
This is really great. You guys should be proud of yourselves.
We missed you. Have a drink.
Put on an old-timey jacket.
That's okay. I don't really do this anymore. All right, come on. I said I don't do this, see?
You dirty rat. Guys are all dirty.
All right, I'm being quiet during this because I'm trying to, this would be where I would say, okay, here's why we did this. I don't know why. The story just kind of became organic. There was I'm beating myself up as I always do, but I do want to say there was an intention on my part throughout the season to resist some of my sometimes overwrought structural discipline. I wanted to let things get a little loose. I wanted them to start feeling random, and because we were moving to a new medium, so I wanted you to be able to recognize the show as your favorite show, but I also wanted and needed, I think, for us to be able to understand that there's a reason this is on the internet now. There's a reason that's not a bad thing. There's a reason that's a good thing. And
you guys would like her,
being able to do a show that's longer than 21 minutes and 14 seconds to the second helped that a lot, because that means that the pacing of each scene and therefore the tone can change a little bit. And I've seen some tweets from people about what they call background music. Where's the music? Why is there no music? There's some, but in a scene like this, do you really want like a tuba playing to let you know that the scene's funny, or that it's not funny, or I don't like music as much as other producers. I think I when I'm watching an action scene in a movie, and they're playing action music while the action scene is going, my first thought is, wouldn't this be better if you dropped that music out, because the action is so interesting. I mean, there's a spaceship blowing up, flying into a skyscraper, and there's debris coming out the other side of the skyscraper, and there's a guy tumbling through the air, and he has to find his ripcord before he hits the ground, and you're playing music that's going. It's like, why is that music there? To explain to you that what you're watching is interesting. I like music like that leading up to those moments, and then like if you watch the speeder bike scene in Return of the Jedi, it's like the music cuts out when they jump onto the speeder bikes, and then you're just listening to like and just shouted dialogue, and it's very visceral because there's no music when you almost get into a car accident at that intersection. Like those moments, time freezes and everything seems to be like sharper and scarier. Anyways, screw you, music lovers.
That's your new school dance budget.
And there's still a need for music sometimes when you transition between scenes, but not all the time. I mean, it starts to get a little cloying to me. It starts to feel insulting. I love this. I think the concept of the ladders class becoming so successful that the ladders professor has a literal fall from grace. I think that's the only element of the original version of the script that got thrown out that stayed.
Annie.
It was worth it.
Some of you folks saw an image online of that didn't seem to be from the show. That was Jeff leaning over Annie, looking like a romantic. It was like kind of laying on a nurse's bed. That was a previously shot and discarded version of the scene you just saw, where she's on the stretcher, because the scene came back and they had picked it up in a hurry. So she didn't look injured. So I'm proud of this.
All right. So whose fault wasn't it? And who knows anything about handling...
And I love how this turned out, this next thing. This idea that, Frankie, who's been the voice of reason and the victim of all this, is just saying what she said in the show in the context, and then you're just cutting to this other guy going, wait, what? You're a crazy person. You sound insane. And it's just that simple. You know, like, you might labor for days wondering, how do they get Frankie back? But it's really just as simple as, it's everyone's nuts. Even the sane people in your nuts world, if they step 3 feet to the right, they're going to be in a world where people think they're nuts, and they're going to miss you.
We probably can't even match it. Whatever he's offering you, Greendale will give you less. And an apology.
Do you know...
Was that my phone buzzing?
Not enough. But
sorry, my communitary has my phone buzzing in it.
Like a montage of them?
I mean, look at those faces that Padgett's making to sell this like story beat. How she's like, it always astounds me how much time you spend in a writer's room trying to figure out how to land a story, and then you're in the edit bay and the actors are with the cock of an eyebrow or a certain emphasis on a certain syllable. They make an entire page of your script redundant. It's like, oh, we get it. She forgives him, or there's always like pages and pages of George Lucas-like dialogue where characters are explaining what they learned and why they feel that way and how they used to feel this way and why they've changed and why that's logical. And they're on the cutting room floor all the time in Community. See there, she won her cleavage. She got it. That always makes my heart swell a little bit. Not the cleavage, the flower on the binder. Like, and then Allison's look. Another one of those actors is like, he's just so able to sell those emotional moments. I don't know. I just thought this was funny. but we didn't really know how to end it. So here's Steven Weber of Wings fame, who graced us with this amazing performance in the role of of the troubled Southern detective that Shirley has spun off with. He's looking for his noose in his noose drawer. I can't find it. A lot of pictures of him using his legs on his desk. She found the noose. No way that noose ever fit in that noose drawer.
How'd you know? Nobody makes more crumbs than a cook. Well, the same goes for clues and detectives. You're too busy solving.
I feel like this tag was this was shot by
Then I ain't got nothing to live for. Begging your pardon.
by Rash and Faxon. This wasn't shot by Schraub.
You rescued a runaway girl today. Rescued balls. I couldn't even rescue a bulb from a socket. And you did all the work today, didn't you? I'm just a detective from the swamps of Atlanta. Can't even walk.
I think Weber did his own stunt there. I think. I know he wanted to. And also, he ad-libbed balls, which I liked. Rescue balls.
Cases to solve.
And this is a show I watch. I'd watch.
Tater tots tonight. That's no mystery at all.
Now, the camera pans down to the news, and then you hear occult whispering, which I think is me. It's whispered on a couple layers. Now, people say, why did the news switch? And the answer is because television is tough, man. It's competitive. You can't just pitch troubled Southern detective with his cook solving cases anymore. That's 1985. You better bring him in a vampire. That's why. Why do you think? Why would the news not twitch? My question to you, jackass. Why don't you go listen to music some more if you like it so much? Play your own music during the show. Just put on a tuba solo while you watch the show. I'm kidding. I love you.